Greetings, my name is Brian. I'm the Associate Pastor here at Calvary Chapel Mission Viejo, and I've been tasked with doing a series of 5 videos on the church, an incredibly important subject at any point in time, but especially as we get closer to relaunching weekly worship services here at church come September. So starting September 6th, we're going to be having outdoor services in the parking lot every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. And so we just wanted to prepare a series of videos here talking about the church, its function, and why it's important. Have a little bit more information in terms of what that's going to look like, what are the menu options for people to choose from in just a bit. But first I want to deal with the question of why re-engage church? Why re-engage with community? Part of it is we live in a culture that has really started treating church as an optional thing, and this is true even of many Christians. A lot of people have gotten used to just living with their podcasts and their books, their internet sermons, and thinking that, I'm good on my own. I'm good, it's just me and Jesus. But I want to suggest that that's really not true. We do need community. And the reality is that Jesus does save us as individuals, but he does more than that as well. He also saves us into community. And we don't get to choose one or the other. We don't just get to choose, yes, I want to live on my own or I want to live in community. Both go organically together. And God has wired humanity deeply with a need for community. This was true of the Israelite people as well. For the Hebrews, with the worst possible penalty that they could suffer was to be exiled from community. And whether we recognize it or not, we also need community. And while it's technically true that somebody can be a Christian and not be engaged deeply in church, it's also true that somebody can be technically married and not regularly go home and live with their spouse. In either case, the relationship is not going to be very deep. Without deep church involvement, our growth in the knowledge of Christ will be limited. And I get it. Church life, community life can be difficult. Sometimes it's messy and challenging. But that's also true of families, and hopefully we don't jettison our families just because there are challenges along the way. The reality is we need one another. Like I said, we're going to be starting services again come Sunday, September 6th. But if that's a concern, we're going to have other options for you as well. There will be at least a couple groups meeting online, people who just cannot get together because of health concerns or their immune system is compromised. So we will have those options available. There probably will be a couple of groups continuing to meet face-to-face in person, but in smaller group format. So if that's of interest, we will have those available, and you can contact me or just call the church office and we can get you plugged in. We're going to go back to, starting in September, our regular cycle of home discipleship groups that meet during the week, and they continue to process the content of the Sunday sermon more deeply. And I am convinced that we need both things. We need regular attendance at our Sunday services, the larger group gatherings, but we also need to be deeply committed to a smaller group. And one of the things we're blessed here with at Calvary are a multitude of options in that way. We have the home discipleship groups, which are mixed gender. Men's ministry here, we have a number of small men's groups that meet either weekly or bi-weekly for purposes of accountability and going through some material together. Our ladies have what's called the Flourish Ministry, a one-on-one ministry, as well as a number of other studies that take place here during the week. But the reality is we need both aspects. Even the early church did this. Acts 2:42 says that day by day continuing with one mind in the temple and breaking bread from house to house. The Christians were together in the temple, but they also practiced house-to-house fellowship, and oh, how we need both. So I want to encourage you to join us. Please re-engage community. Please come and be part of our gatherings on Sunday morning, whether that's here at church or in an online group or in a smaller group. Again, we can connect you with any one of those options, but encourage you to engage deeply in that and also consider jumping into a home discipleship group. Give us a call here at the church, ask for me, and we can get you plugged into one. But please, please, please be part of community. It's the way that the Lord designed us, and it's part of the way we grow.